Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chia and today we're going to be doing something different that I haven't really done in the past. I'm going to be picking TBR prompts from this TBR jar, technically candle jar, because I repurposed a Bath & Body Works vanilla bean candle for it. I thought, why buy a new jar when I can use this? It was really easy to do. Have I been known in the past to be able to stick to TBRs? Absolutely not. But I decided this year that I would challenge myself by using prompts to give me more of a freedom to pick what I want from these prompts, at the same time kind of like give me a sort of like a guideline on which books to pick up during the month. And I thought it would be nice to actually stick with a TBR this time because I have so many physical books that I have not really touched in the past like 2 years that I really need to get started on. So I figured that using a TBR jar would help that. Mainly I'm going to probably be choosing from my TBR 3 tier, and also I have a shelf out there that has a bunch of like books that are unread, so whichever fits the prompt I will like choose. I don't want to like really put too much on my plate for February. Oh, and by the way, the TBR I'm picking is for February. I don't know if I mentioned that. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself to pick books for February, so I'm just going to give myself 5 prompts to give a higher chance of me actually sticking to the TBR, and then I'll probably film a video in February like reading through some of my TBR books that we picked. So yes, let's go through and pick 5 prompts for this. I am so nervous at the same time because I am not known to stick with TBRs. I am a mood reader to my core. I don't like having to think that I am being forced to read a book, but I think these TBR prompts will help, hopefully. I'm crossing my fingers that they will. There's like a bunch of different prompts I put in here, mainly from like other people's like prompt jar videos, and also like from Google, and then like Instagram, TikTok. No particular order. I don't even remember what I wrote on here in all honesty, but first prompt. Maybe you guys will see it first. A book by an author whose last name starts with a letter after M. I guess Frederick Bachman is out of the question. I guess I could continue on with the, what's it called? The Madoran Chronicles. I am wanting to continue this with the 3rd book, so that's an option. And then I have Alexis Patton, Our Stark Few. No, Hazel Thorne's Drews, Night Circus. I guess I could do After M. Does that technically mean After M? I guess I can't. Does that mean M is not counted? Anyway, yeah, whatever. I won't choose that. I have Water Moon by Samantha Sotoyambao. Carrie Lake, Owen. I guess I can start with the Little Thieves series, but I don't feel like I want to start a new series right now, so probably that's out of the line. I mean, I could do this because the 2nd book is going to come out soon, after I just said I don't want to start a new series. But I feel like this be a lot faster and easier to go through than Little Thieves. It's about 346 pages and this one's like 500, I think. So this could be an option. And also the 2nd book is coming out in February, so I could keep up with the release with it also, so that's an option. Could be for Sabatihir, the 2nd book in the Ember and the Ashes series. I could continue with that. This is the 2nd book, I believe. Claire Sager, Kiss of Iron. I'm not in the mood to pick that up right now. Like I said, I don't want to be starting a lot of new series. Here are the options. 2 of these are continuing a series. One is a standalone, and then this one is starting a new series. So let's go through. I can't really read the blurb of these books because obviously these are like the next installments for the series. This is the 3rd book in the Madoran Chronicles. This is sort of like an academic magical setting. It's very similar to Harry Potter, but instead of like magical wizard stuff, I think this is more dealing with like a fairy world, and also it's more of a young adult book. Alex, the main character, she is a human who falls into academic magical portal. She attends Akane Academy, and I've been loving this. I really love the way it's being told about the story, and I have been meaning to continue on with the series, so I could put this in another continuing series vlog. And then Torch Against the Night. This follows a character named Laya. She is a part of a world that like is run by Mask, and it's a very tyrannical world. I guess it's based in like Roman mythology. She has a brother who was caught helping out the resistance in this world, and he was taken. In order to get him back, she works with the resistance in order to break him out of jail, and in return they ask her to attend this academic setting in order to be a slave and spy on the commandant of this university. So it's very upper YA. And then there's another character named Elias who is a part of the Mask Order and has been attending this school since he was young. He is having ideas where he's not agreeing with the society anymore and wants to do something about it. So So I've been loving the series so far. The first book was really good. I gave it a 4 stars. And The Serpent and the Wolf, I don't know if I want to start a new series yet. And even though the second book is coming out, I want to focusing on reading my physical TBR. So I might stick with the other two. And then Water Moon by Samantha Yambao. I've got this copy from Barnes & Noble. It's a really pretty copy. I think you can get it like everywhere. So I heard that if you like Studio Ghibli films and like Miyazaki's work, Spirited Away is one of my favorite animated movies of all time. This is very similar to that, and I heard amazing things about it. And it's a standalone, so it wouldn't be... Wow, I put this back upside down. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. There, that's the proper like way to do it. But I don't think I'm in the mood to read this right now, so I probably won't use that as an option. I'm really tempted to actually continue on with the series for Ember and the Ashes. I think I'm gonna go with A Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. I do want to continue on, and a lot of this series is like not that hard to read. It's not like long like the other fantasy books that I read. So 450, I think that'd be great to continue on with in February. So that's our first for TBR. And then the next one is, as always, you guys get to see it first. What does that say? A book with a main character that starts with A, B, or C. Maybe a few of the books I pull up. Vasa. Oh, okay, that's V. Never mind. This is Alex. She could be a contender too. Hana. What was the letters? A, B, or C? No, Hana's not it. The female main character's name is Celia, and I have been wanting to read this. I wanted to read it before the winter ends because I feel like this is such a nice winter cozy book, even though I live in a place where we haven't gotten cold weather in a while. I think the closest was probably like this week. It was like 60 degrees. It was raining over Christmas weekend, but it wasn't like the cold rain that I want. It was more humid than anything, but we might go with this one if I don't like find something else, because I actually really want to read this book. Hazelthorn, Evander, no, that's not one. Nope, her name is Sam. Unfortunately, no. I think I'm going to stick with The Night Circus. So this has been around for a while. This came out in... I love when you can't find the copyright page right away. Okay, here it is. I think this came out in 2011. This has been out for like over 10 years. I really need to read this. This is like some of people's like favorite fantasy standalone of all time. And I hear amazing things about Erin Morgenstern's writing. And I've been putting this book on so many TBRs. And I just want to see what the fuss is about. So let's read the back. The circus arrives without warning. No announcement preceded. It is simply there, when yesterday it was not. Within the black and white striped canvas tents is an utterly unique experience full of breathtaking amazements. It is called the Cirque des Rêves. My French pronunciation is bad, so don't mind that, and it is only open at night. But behind the scenes, a fierce competition is underway. A duel between two young magicians, Celia and Marco, who have been trained since childhood expressly for this purpose by their mercurial instructors. Unbeknownst to them both, this is a game in which only one can be left standing. Amidst the high stakes, Celia and Marco soon tumble headfirst into love, setting off a domino effect of dangerous consequences and leaving the lives of everyone from the performers to the patrons hanging in the balance. So a love story I heard about, and then it's like an urban fantasy because of like the circus aspect of it, and they compete as magicians. I heard it's so atmospheric. Because I said I'm like focusing on getting physical books off my TBR because I have so much. I did film a video where I go through all the books on my physical TBR, and that'll be coming soon. So it's helping me open my eyes a bit to get rid of those books first before I can buy any more. Okay, next. I really hope I choose something else that doesn't start with like a letter or something. Something more... Oh, something fell out. I guess we'll go with that. Hopefully you guys can see that. A book that you've had for more than a year. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think that would have to go with The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I got this back in 2024, so I have had this on my TBR for the longest time. A lot of these also have been on my TBR for the longest time, but a lot of them I don't really feel like I want to read it right now, but let's see. I could also choose Juniper and Thorn by Ava Reed. I have read Ava Reed books in the past. I read, what's it called? The Study in Drowning, and I have been meaning to pick this up. It's just that it's a dark gothic sort of like horror book, and I haven't been like in the mood to pick it up. You could say I could do it now again because it's like seasonal and the winter's gonna end soon, so this would be a perfect atmospheric for that. But so let's read both and see which one stands out the most to me, or which one I feel more the mood in reading. Obviously Juniper and Thorn, and it's like a retelling of the juniper tree. I'm not too familiar with that fairy tale. A Gruesome Curse, a city in upheaval, a monster with unquenchable appetites. Marlin Chin and her two sisters live with their wizard father in a city shifting from magic to industry. As Oblias, I really have to listen to the audiobook to get that. Last true witches, she and her sisters are little more than a tourist attraction as they treat their clients with archaic remedies and beguile them with nostalgic charm. Marlin Chin spends her days divining secrets in exchange for rubles and trying to placate her tyrannical, xenophobic father who keeps his daughters sequestered from the outside world. But at night, Marlin Chin and her sisters sneak out to enjoy the city's amenities and revel in its thrills, particularly the recently established ballet theater where Marlin Chin meets a dancer who quickly captures her heart. As Marlin Chin's late-night trysts grow more fervent and frequent, so does the threat of her father's rage and music, and while Oblia flourishes with culture and bustles with enterprise, a monster lurks in its midst, born of intolerance and resentment and suffused with old world power. Caught between history and progress, blood and desire, Marlin Chin must draw upon her own magic to keep her city safe and find her place within. And I bought this. Do you guys do that too? Do you guys keep your receipts when you buy books? I bought this and wow, I have had this for a long time because the date is faded. 9/24/2023. Yeah. It's been over a year. So this is definitely a high option. And then The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I hear so many amazing things about this book by Roshani Chokshi. Okay, so a sumptuous gothic-infused story about a marriage that is unraveled by dark secrets, a friendship cursed to end in tragedy, and the danger of believing in fairy tales. The breathtaking adult debut from New York Times bestselling author Roshani Chokshi. Once upon a time, a man who believed in fairy tales married a beautiful and mysterious woman named Indigo Maxwell Castaneda. He was a scholar of myths. She was the heiress to fortune. They exchanged gifts and stories and believed they would live happily ever after. In exchange for her love, Indigo extracted a promise that her bridegroom would never pry into her past. But when Indigo learns that her strange aunt is dying and the couple is forced to return to her childhood home, the House of Dreams, the bridegroom will soon find himself unable to resist. For within the crumbling manor's extravagant rooms and musty halls lurks the shadows of another girl, Azure, Indigo's dearest childhood friend who suddenly disappeared. As the house slowly reveals his wife's secrets, the bridegroom will be forced to choose between reality and fantasy, even if doing so threatens his marriage or his life. Combining the lush, haunting atmosphere of Mexican Gothic with the dreamy enchantment of the invisible life of Addie LaRue, The Last Tale of the Flower Bride is the spellbinding adult debut from New York Times bestselling author Roshani Chokshi. It's a darkly romantic page-turner about love and lies, secrets and betrayal, and the stories we tell ourselves to survive. I think this one's calling out to me more. So this will be for the third prompt, The Last Tale of the Flower Bride. I have 3 books now, 2 more prompts. I really hope all of these are focusing. A book that you'll rate 5 stars. Ooh, okay. A book that I think I will rate 5 stars. I think I might go with a Frederick Bachman book for this. I have this high feeling that I might rate this 5 stars. I think I'll have a good chance of rating these ones 5 stars too. The Beartown and also A Man Called Ove. This one, I'm not ready to cry, so I'm not gonna be reading that. This one, again, I don't want to start a new series until I work my way through a lot of the other series I'm in the middle of, so this one I'll have to put down for now. And also, I know this is going to be sort of like a dark and heavy read, so I'm just not ready for it right now. So this one, I think I might rate 5 stars. So this is called Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Looking at real estate isn't usually a life or death situation, but an apartment open house becomes just that when a failed bank robber bursts in and takes a group of 8 strangers hostage. Each of them carries a lifetime of grievances, hurts, secrets, and passions that are ready to boil over. None of them is entirely who they appear to be. In short, they are the worst group of hostages in the world. But as the minutes tick by, they begin to suspect that the criminal mastermind holding them hostage might be more in need of rescuing than they are. As authorities and the media surround this premises, these reluctant allies will reveal surprising truths about themselves and set in motion a chain of events so unexpected that even they can hardly explain what happens next. Anxious People is an ingeniously constructed story about the enduring power of friendship, forgiveness, and hope, the things that save us even in the most anxious of times. Captures the messy essence of being human. It's clever and affecting, as likely to make you laugh out loud as it is to make you cry. I've been wanting this to be my first introduction to Frederick Bachman's writing, and also I have like 3 fantasies on my TBR already, so I'm gonna stick with this, yes, because I'm trying to read more literary fiction this year and I want a good balance between all of it. So this is the 4th book. The last prompt will be, you guys will read first. So, a book with a character's name in the title. Okay, let's see if I have any of that. I mean, this could count because the character is named Ove, but again, I don't want to cry. Not right now. Okay, I'm going to choose a new prompt because I only have 2 books on my shelf that fits that prompt, and both of them I don't want to read right now, so let's choose one. A book with food or drink on the cover? Oh my god. I don't have anything with that. So again, let's choose a new prompt. I really hope this one will fit. I really hope. Oh, that's upside down. I really hope you guys can read my handwriting. A book that does not start with "the." Okay, I can do that. Red City doesn't start with "the." Do I want another fantasy in here? I guess Watermoon also could like fit for that prompt. Hazelthorn also. This is sort of like a, this is a different genre that I'm used to. I think it's a young adult horror, and I think this is a standalone also. So these are the two options, Red City or Hazelthorn by C.J. Drews, and this one's by Marie Lu. Again, same thing. Let me read the synopsis, see which one calls out to me more. Evander has lived like a ghost in the forgotten corners of the Hazelthorn estate ever since he was taken in by his reclusive billionaire guardian, Byron Lennox Hall, when he was a child. For his safety, Evander has been given 3 ironclad rules to follow. He can never leave the estate, he can never go into the gardens, and most importantly, he can never again be left alone with Byron's charming, underachieving grandson Laurie. The last rule has been in place ever since Laurie tried to kill Evander 7 years ago, and yet somehow Evander is still obsessed with him. When Byron suddenly dies, Evander inherits Hazelthorn's immense Gothic mansion and acres of sprawling grounds, along with the entirety of the Lennox Hall family's vast wealth. But Evander's sure his guardian was murdered, and Laurie may be the only one who can help him find the killer before they come for Evander next. Perhaps even more concerning is how the overgrown garden is refusing to stay behind its walls, slipping its vines and spores deeper into the house with each passing day. As the family's dark secrets unravel alongside the growing horror of their terribly alive, bloodthirsty garden, Evander needs to find out what he's really inheriting before the garden demands fed once more. Ooh, a secret garden, secret evil garden? Ooh, that's a good option. And then Marie Lu, Red City. This one came out last year, and I've been hearing amazing things about it. When you win the game of power, who do you lose? Alchemy is the hidden art of transformation, an exclusive power wielded by crime syndicates that market it to the world's elites in the form of sand, a drug that enhances those who take it into a more perfect version of themselves, more beautiful, more charismatic, simply more. Among the gleaming skyscrapers and rolling foothills of Angel City, alchemy is controlled by 2 rival syndicates. For years, Grand Central and Luminous have been balanced on a razor's edge between polite negotiation and outright violence. But when 2 childhood friends step into that delicate equation, the city and the paths of their lives will be irrevocably changed. The daughter of a poor single mother, Sam would do anything to claw her way into the ranks of Grand Central in search of a better life. Away from his family as a boy to become a luminous apprentice, Ari is one of the syndicate's brightest rising star. Once they might have loved each other, but as the 2 alchemists face off across opposite sides of an ever-escalating conflict, ambition will become power, loyalty will become lies, and no transformation may be perfect enough for them both to survive the coming war. They both sound so good. I can't decide. Let me read the first paragraph of each, see which one. And this is set in Angel City, California, which I'm assuming is LA. As a child, Sam can see beauty in everything. And then the first line of this is, he knows what it is to be buried alive, the feeling of dirt in his mouth and the quiet fitting around him like a well-tailored grave. I think that's a clear winner. And it's like different from the other ones I've picked up, so I feel like this would be a great like thing to read in February too. So I have a very like good pile for my 5 books. The one that I didn't pull for today, I'm just gonna put it back in the TBR jar and put it in the bottom. So we're gonna go over the books that are picked for each prompt. So these are the books that I'll be reading in February. Cross my fingers, hopefully. I'm going to aim to do it and also make a video about reading some of them. I'll probably read 2 or 3 of them in one video. Hold me accountable, but the first book is A Torch Against the Night by Sabit Tahir, The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Roshani Chashki, Anxious People by Frederick Bachman, and Hazelthorn by C.G. Drews. I'm actually really excited for the pile of books that I chose for the prompts, and I can't wait to see what I think about them, and also it's kind of like motivating me to pick up these books too, because then, as I said, I'm a mood reader. Sometimes a book just doesn't like fit when I'm like feeling that day, but trying to work with that or trying to fight against it so that I can just pick up a book and read it. And I'm trying to change the way I feel about certain books because I can't just let physical books sit on my shelves for like years and not read them. If you made it this far, let me know what books you will be picking up in the month of February and what's on your TBR or your hopefuls at least. And if you want more videos like this, like and subscribe. It really does help my channel a lot, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!
널 바라보며 yeah.